And we are live. Welcome back. We're here at the Microsoft MTC in Malvern, Pennsylvania. And I'm here with Rich Ross. Just going to have our Philly Tech Talk night. We don't have a regular meetup tonight, but that doesn't mean that we can't get together and have some fun with things like Azure DevOps and some of the other cool stuff that was announced at Build. So good to see you, Rich.
Good to see you too, Chris.
And, it's here. It's May 29th. We're getting close to summer here if you're watching from the future. But yeah, you can see I still have a winter sports shirt on, USA Curling.
Nice.
Not sure if any of you are into curling, and I mean, I think it's cool. I've never done it. I think I would be terrible at it, but it looks fascinating.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Athletic and strategic at the same time. And I never thought I would say this, but the U.S. has an Olympic gold medal in curling. I was pretty sure that I would probably never utter those words, but they did it at the recent Olympics, so good for them. So if you're watching from the future, it is not winter. I just have on a wintry short sleeve shirt.
My PS2 from the hackathon that I was fortunate enough to go up and kind of help out 10.
Great.
Back March.
That's awesome.
So that was a lot of fun. 1,000 Penn Staters all hacking away for a little over 48 hours. March. Looking forward to doing it again in the fall and a half.
Oh, that is great. That is great. So yeah, here we are, and we thought we're going to dive into Azure DevOps in a little bit, but I think first we're going to take a look at a couple announcements, just kind of things that have been happening, and we're going to start with something fun. I don't know if anybody watching the stream is a Minecraft fan. I know I am. I've been playing the game, well before Microsoft knew about it, before anybody knew about it. I hopped into Minecraft. I found out about this game because I had heard that the creator was just about to add multiplayer to it, where you could play with your friends. And so my friend said, you should try out the single player, see if you like it. And I tried it, and I said, boy, this will really be fun when you get your friends in here. So I hopped in at that point in time, and here we are with Microsoft announcing a new version of the game, which I'm not going to play the sound here, but I think we'll see what's happening, called Minecraft Earth, an augmented reality version of Minecraft, where we have the subject here in this commercial, an avid Minecraft player, and she's skateboarding down the street, and her Minecraft world appears to be popping up in front of her. I don't know much more about it than what we see in the trailer. It feels a little like, you'd place these, I guess you would place these things in the world around you. I don't know how people are going to feel if you, in some respects, virtually toilet paper their house, but in Minecraft terms, how do your creations stay out? I don't know anything about it other than that. Of course, this seems like the next logical step for Minecraft. So, we have people playing Pokemon Go today, walking down the sidewalks, or even when they take trips to unfamiliar places. I actually just went on a field trip to Washington, D.C. over Memorial Day weekend, and there was a young woman on the bus, a freshman in high school, who brought with her a list of Pokestops to get Pokemon that she can't find easily here in the Philly area. He said they're going to be there in D.C., so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. It's something a little different there. Again, but if you're here talk about things like .NET and development and DevOps and programming, you're saying, hey, let's get to something like that. So one of the things that was announced at Build is something I can't wait to get started with. Now, I don't have a demo for you tonight. We're going to try to use this in conjunction with the hands-on lab next Wednesday in C#, because it should be a perfect way to test out try.net. So try.net is already in parts of the documentation, in fact. So if I just go to docs.microsoft.com, and let's do system string, one of the most important classes here, and I'm going to do system string methods. And if I remember correctly, what's the method that we did here? Maybe I won't remember if format was one of them. There should be some try.net in here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, so here I am. I'm in the docs, the Microsoft documentation for string.format. And here is a code sample talking about how you can use string.format to properly format this this decimal and look at this little, there's a run button here in the official documentation, which opens up a little side window in your browser, and it executes this code in C#. We get to see the result down at the bottom. Okay. The reason I know about this is because I have a couple contributions to enable this functionality in the docs, and you can add that same functionality to portions of the Microsoft docs as well for C# today. Embedded testing, running of C# code, all from your browser, enabled by client-side Blazor. But what I like is that a tool has now been released. English is fun, or live recording is fun. A tool has now been released for us to create websites that when our viewers, when our visitors come to them, they will be able to have little code snippets just like this and to execute .NET code right here in the browser. Perfect for tutorials and documentation.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And we currently, for our hands-on labs, we use GitHub as a home site. So you're looking at the hands-on lab for Blazor. This was from August of 2018. And the reason why we build these is so that if maybe you are here, you're here on site, you can follow along right here on GitHub too. Well, why is that important? Because if somebody up on the lectern like me is typing a little too fast and you don't quite get everything that was typed here, you could still come here and maybe just cut and paste to catch up, or type it, put it over to a side so that you can type it into your IDE. Lots of great ways for you to reuse this content, and the idea is you could follow along with our video, so it's as if you were here with us back in time, but you can still go through the lab. Thought this was a great idea. Try.net's taking it to a whole nother level, saying, just try it right here. You know, don't even fire up Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio version. Just try it right here. So we're gonna at least have a demo of that next week. Now the lab is C#, C# 8 and .NET Core 3 preview features, especially the desktop framework. And Rob and I are working on that now for next Wednesday. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm super excited about the fact that this has been released for us to start trying out to make our own web pages that build in, test out some code. That's exciting.
I mean, it's a great idea seeing where they doc, right?
Yes.
Docs.com, full of information. I go through Azure, DevOps stuff, all of the products we have.
Yeah, and so there is a massive job to do in the docs to take as many of those code samples as makes sense, little snippets that show you how to use C# class library features or anything in the BCL or reporting libraries that it makes sense to try out right here. Like string formatting is one that makes a ton of sense, and get that updated. It's super easy to do. You really just put a markdown code fence around the code, and that activates it, and then you submit it as a PR, and now you've contributed to the docs, and it's definitely, there's a lot of it to do. So I think it's really exciting. So the next one that we're going to look at here is the next little like announcement and thing that's happened here. I think that we're going to look at is Scott Hanselman blogged about this. This was super exciting. It was announced at Build, and he blogged about Visual Studio Code remote development. Now he himself admits that this blog headline is meant for you to click on it, except that he didn't do what other sites do and you have to click through 20 pages of introduction to get to what you really want. So thanks for that, Scott. But he talks about how the purpose of Visual Studio Code remote development is through the power of Docker for you, with a Docker image that you can construct yourself and a little bit of instruction for Visual Studio Code to hang on to. You can create a development environment in a container, even on Linux, and you can have Visual Studio Code, launch that through Docker on your machine, on your PC, connect to it. So you're still working in a local client, but you are connected to this remote Docker container, and go to work. and then when you're done, shut it down, and you didn't install more junk on your machine. Because let's face it, after Visual Studio, and maybe you've installed Visual Studio and .NET, and then you want to do a little Python, and then you decide, well, I'm going to try out Jekyll for my GitHub pages, so let me install Ruby. And I've heard Go is pretty great for Azure function type scenarios or serverless scenarios. I've heard Go. I want to try out Go. So you install Go, and you might mess around with say, you know what, Python is so important for machine learning. You've installed all this stuff. You've just installed all this stuff, and maybe you think, I just want to try it out. I'm not really sure that I want to commit disk space to this. So, or even just wrap a development environment up so that you and everyone on your team is working in the same settings, the same development ecosystem. You've picked the same operating system, the same image. That's a pretty cool place to be too. And it's super ridiculously easy to get started, because for you to try it out, Microsoft already has some repositories. You saw what I did here in GitHub. I searched VS Code -remote-try, and I'm already getting the different languages that there's support for here from Microsoft. Here's a Python try, a Go, a Node, a Java, and then other folks are getting into the act too and saying, like, you know what, I can, this is open. I can create a Docker file that sets up the environment the way I want and start using it today. But you clone this project, and once you've cloned it, and you get the remote development extensions, which is an extension for VS Code, which locally is installed right here. These remote container extensions, a remote development pack. And this pack goes ahead and gets more extensions. That's a common thing in VS Code now, is bundled together a pack. So let me get my head out of the way here. This remote development extension is the key. Brings in this extension pack. And now look at how Visual Studio Code is saying these extensions are installed in Visual Studio Code locally, but this one was installed in the container. I didn't even install the Go language support extension here on my machine. It's in the container, which is amazing. And then all of that is up. It's all ready to go. So all you do then is you just open up the folder, and again, you have to have insiders for this today. You've got to have VS Code insiders, but you open up a folder that has a Docker file for your image, and in this case, I don't have Go on my machine. That's why I picked Go. I don't have Go. This dev container tells VS Code how to hook it up. This dev container.json, and the rest is just this project. And I've never looked at Go before, but taking a look at this source code, there wasn't really much to it. That it was pretty easy to decipher, especially if you've come from Node or something like that. I've done a little bit of Node, so it looks to me like it's just going to take an HTTP call just to the root path, and it's going to respond with hello remote world on stream, and I'm going to even say hello Billy.net. This is my code. I'm changing it now. And when you debug, Visual Studio Code is actually connecting to the container, and it's getting the code running in the container. The Docker extension for VS Code helps me out here by telling me that this container is running. I could go out to the command line and check the same thing. API server it's actually talking about its remote connection. But this, I hit a breakpoint inside the container in Go, something I don't even have installed on my machine, my local machine, and I'll click continue so that now it's running, it's in its loop. And if I head out to here and I say localhost 9000, there it is. Really hard to see, but hello Philly. That's the code I just modified right there. So it doesn't have to be. You could get a brand new machine and get the try .NET Core one, and boom, you've got a .NET Core development environment. Or you can try. The examples here are in the context of trying these languages, but it doesn't have to be about that. The documentation itself, developing inside a container, set up the development environment and go to work. I mean, you could check this in. Check in a complete development environment and then say, just fire up this Visual Studio Code stuff, Rich, and join me on this project for a language you don't even have installed on your machine.
pretty powerful stuff, right? Because you think of some of the things I think you might have mentioned. Solve.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were what framework project back here was one of the right impact. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, and if you're a neat freak about your computer, which I alternately go back and forth between the two, you kind of hate saying like, "Oh my gosh, am I really going to install this just so I can try this out and then maybe never touch it again?"
Right.
Or even better, you know, especially when it comes to something like Node. This used to be a very big problem for Windows developers. Is that you might have a one Node project that's using Node version A, and then another project using Node version B, and that swapping is not the easiest thing on Windows, where there are some npm packages that make it much easier in the Linux world. Well, let's just throw all that away and have just write in my source code repository the Docker file and that dev container JSON that says, hey, this version of Node for this project, wire it up, run it in VS Code. When I need to switch, I switch, and I don't even care about Node version manager anymore. That just goes out the window.
Awesome ways.
Yeah,
That's it.
It's that this is fantastic. So there are some things today that they're saying, hey, not currently supported, but that's why it's in insiders. That's why it's in preview. But I tell you, for something that's in preview, to see it work the way it did, you know, building the image took a little time. You got to see the end result of me having clicked and then let it build the image up.
Sure.
But that's pretty cool. Super exciting.
One of the cool preview.
Yeah.
They want to. So having that flex, try it. Benefit getting using me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. There's plenty of issues being opened, either for edge cases that don't work, or as you said, use cases that, hey, you don't support this, and I think this is really useful, and it ends up on the roadmap, and then we'll see what happens. Or community member contributes it. I don't know. It's pretty amazing though. Like if I stop this and I go ahead and close this folder here, which see if I can just say, so I'm back in Visual Studio Code and I close the folder. Oh, I could have just opened it from here. Yeah. So here I am. I went and got the Python one too. Mm-hmm. And all I'm doing now is opening that folder. I see. That other container was still open.
Oh, what?
So it's like, hey, I can't. Okay, now let's see. Now that I've closed that remote, the Go container was bound to the port for the remote container stuff. Oh, hold on. Maybe it's not going to be as easy as I thought. See the dev containers terminal for more details. So I need the terminal, which not as easy as I thought. I know what I'll do. Stop this container. And then okay, so it's stopped. I don't have a folder opened. We're gonna work this through. Mm-hmm. Now I'm opening the Python version of this, where I just grabbed try Python, and I don't think we're not gonna have that issue now because the container is not bound to the port that makes this all work. In the lower right hand corner, I've got this installing dev container. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, because I have built this one. The other one just fired up, probably because that container has been running on my machine all this time. So yeah, it's loading in there. Let's see. Now the VS Code remote try Python container is running instead, and it's all loaded up, and I can open app.py, and here this is Flask, and it's gonna say it's simple app that if the route is just the default route, let's send the index HTML, and the index HTML is found here in the static folder. Here it is. VS Code can do that. Yes, it can. And I can say hello, Billy, and go ahead to the debug thing, and it's already got the launch.json to run. I didn't do any of this. This was all built into the package in the repository. They've created this ready-made deep development environment for you. So I guess it's running, which I believe might be on 9,000. Let's find out. I think they're both on 9,000. Yep. That's it. Serving up a static web page. Now it's Flask, so I could take that out, start writing Python Flask.
Sure.
I don't know.
Pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Having gone through some of the labs, especially when you have all these packages, seem to be a F5 it enough.
Yeah.
How do I?
Yeah.
And this just makes so much. See.
Yeah, and then the other problem, right? You get it working. You got it all working, but it wasn't a straight line.
No. You
tried this, and then you also tried that, and then you also tried this. So you've tried 3 things now. Now you got it working. So then I come over to your desk. Rich, I got to join this project. Help me out. Well, I did this, and I did that, and I did this, but I don't know that I needed to do all 3 of them.
Might have just been the last one.
Might have just been the last one. But now I'm following along with you right off the cliff. Oh. And we haven't actually figured out what we needed. So the nice thing about this is that if you're having trouble setting up this environment, it's in a container. So you shut the container down and your system is back the way it was before. You haven't messed with your local machine. No more works on my machine, because eventually you'll get that container set up right, that development environment set up right, and it'll work for you. It's going to work for me too. So pretty cool stuff. So what were we doing last time? Last time was probably a month ago now.
Pretty much.
I think so.
Jeff being here last week.
We missed a week, and then Jeff was here at the last meetup. We intended to be here last week, but we had logistical issues and we didn't make it.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to do the Philly Azure.
Right. Yep.
And we were here.
Yeah.
We were here at 6:05. And just Chris and I were here.
Yep.
And turns out, thought nobody was heading down to pizza place.
Yeah, where are you?
That with forever. Brains out black. We didn't think anything would. It wasn't sick. Never. So there was a little bit of a snap to do and meet up. Bringing every pizza place where we were, and we had a nice problem.
Yeah.
Followed the results. So.
Right. So previously, and come to think of it, it's been a little while. We were working on an application that we literally said all we're going to do is do the file new project for .NET Core 2.2. We just picked 2.2, and then we kind of, because we've gotten this question before, like, how should you set up your project? Mm-hmm. And I don't know that the question necessarily is about this. It could be about, how should you set up your solution with maybe you have various projects, or should they be in different solutions? And we said, well, we're going to answer those questions by building something.
Right.
And we both agreed what's the very first thing we should do, and the answer was get it in source control. So into GitHub it went. And then we said, okay, now that we did a file new project. And so the file new project, let's see, we didn't put it in Philly.net, did we? I know I put it in mine, didn't I?
No, it's in your personal.
Yeah, that's right. So the file new project was done, and we said, okay, it should be in source control. And there's several options here. We could have gone with anything. We could have gone with Azure repos inside Azure DevOps, but just for the sake of seeing the integration and how the Lego blocks fit together, said, well, a lot of people use GitHub, so let's put it in GitHub. So here it is. This is just a brand new project. It's a Razor Pages project. I might have said MVC earlier. And that's it. Like, that is all we did. And then said, okay, let's get it building in Azure DevOps. And so the specific piece of Azure DevOps we were in was pipelines and the build section. And we created, so we have our new project. We actually went through the process. We made the project. We skipped over using boards and repos for now. You can always come back. And we said, okay, let's create a build. And said, all right, so we have the build for the spaceshot.PdnScheduler. Now it says, so there's been some changes since last time. It says no builds found, which is odd. I mean, it makes me wonder if I'm in the right project.
Yeah. That's not the project.
Okay.
I had this up. Scheduler? Yeah.
Okay. And so we were here and we got the build working. But we said, well, we'll come back to this. And we said, here's the important part. In order for us to learn and everyone to learn, like, let's just do it. But we're both kind of confused as to why you can build your project. Yeah, where'd the project go? Interesting. dev.azure.com, Chris Gomez, right? And you were invited to it? And I think that's correct because I see you here in the corner. We have 2 members of this project. And so with Azure DevOps, you can start using it for free, and you can even have teams of up to 5. But if you have Visual Studio licenses, which a lot of people, I think, who are interested in what we're doing here will have Visual Studio subscriptions, you don't count as part of against the team's 5 free limit. I thought Rich was just about to say, I got it, I know what it is. Did we move it from Azure DevOps?
That just kind of makes.
Yeah. It's not in the Rich Ross side. No. Well, we should be able to add it back.
Is your file that
Yeah.
is it?
Exactly. So let's review that.
Yeah.
Here's the GitHub repository. We built an Azure pipeline, but we were in the portal. We were in that DevOps portal, and we built this, and we had some trouble along the way, as evidenced by this crazy build path, which I think we'll get to. We don't have to get to it right now, but we'll get to it. And this particular build creates a VM image for Ubuntu. We're going to deploy on Ubuntu, and we're going to build and release there. So it shouldn't be too hard for us to just create a new build and add it back in. So we say new, new build pipeline, or import a pipeline.
There wouldn't be any code, right?
Not in repos.
We wound up pointing it.
Yeah.
Source of your. So
I say new build pipeline. So we did this, but let's do it again. This will be a nice review. We were a little surprised by that because both of us looked at this and said we're ready to go. So I'm not sure what happened there, but
so we're built. That's crazy that I have maybe 4 or 5 builds.
Yeah,
the green one at the end.
Right. So if I say my code is in, so I to review, I start off. I created a project. This project already existed in Azure DevOps. You can head over to the pipeline section, and builds is the first thing to do. This is going to be much quicker this time. Famous last words. Where is your code? It's in GitHub. So I say, all right, select a repository. It already knows about all my repositories. There's the PdnScheduler one. You selected a public repository, but this is not a public project. I thought we did this already. I don't think that matters. I think that's just a warning, right? That's just a warning. It doesn't mean you have to do it. Okay. It goes ahead and picks the YAML up right out of GitHub. Last time we built this ourselves. It gave us this template, but we had to play with the script and do that crazy PdnScheduler you see now. It's kind of in the middle of the screen. We'll get rid of that. That was a kind of a mistake on my part. When I built the project, I took the CS project and pushed it way too far down the line. And so we'll get that taken care of. But we should be able to just run this.
Yeah.
Last time what happened is we had to get that halving just right, and so we missed on the build 2 or 3 times. And
the orientation slash.
Yeah, the orientation of the slashes, and this is where we invented the washing machine icon.
Yeah.
So what's great about this is the job's initialized. It picked up an Ubuntu agent. It's building the .NET Build release right now and restoring the packages. And what's really cool is you're getting this command line view like right here in the browser. All these logs remain, right?
Mm-hmm. Which
so
is
you can
pretty cool because you think about basically spinning up a virtual machine, the logs that virtual machine is away. Code you put in there and you pack things, they're going to go away.
Yeah, so I'm going to head back to the build section of pipelines. And what's interesting to me is how it named it one, as if maybe it's saying that it knows of another one. It just makes me wonder, like, look at this build pipeline. And it makes you wonder what happened to it, huh? So I should be able to delete this. The question is how? How do you delete this build pipeline? And I'll be honest with you, I've struggled with this part of the interface because you'd expect here to right. I know where it is.
Okay.
But you right click. This isn't right.
No.
This is the browser. Well, is it one of those things where if I come over here, little things? No, nothing popping up here. Can I come up here? No. Look, you end up coming over here. So when I highlight spaceshot.pdnscheduler, this is the build we made last time. For some reason, it's still here, but without the connection to GitHub. Like, I don't know why that's missing. We'll have to investigate that. Let's get rid of that.
So as with most things, our products now, you're looking for something.
The straight up.
But
it was over there, though. So that was the thing that was confusing.
Oh, sure.
And so it says delete the pipeline spaceshot.pdnscheduler, and they want to make absolutely sure you really want to do this. And they figure if you take the time, take your fingers, and type it out, then you must really want to do it. And I never do that. I just cut and paste it in here, which I imagine a lot of people do. So in any case, here we go. That build is done. I could now come here and just because I'm that pedantic, I'm gonna fix the build, and there it is. So now it's the way it was before. So that build worked. Our simple YAML file was all that it took to do the job. So if you're wondering how did you get that done, you can watch the video where we put this together, which I think we could probably set a card right up over in the upper right. Yeah. So somewhere over there you'll see a pointer to the last time when we put this together. You can see everything we went through, but it really comes down to having your project and an Azure-pipelines.yml. Is that just the default name? could I name it something else than Azure-pipelines.yml? It's okay if we don't know.
So if you have project, you include YML file in there, it will use that.
Okay.
And
it just says
be YML.
It just says it can be YAML,
right.
YAML,
right?
But it is the YAML format.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in theory, you could have multiple build files. Wanted to put another one in there. I think how we got started with pipe created that YAML file as part of the code.
Right. When we said new build, they said, okay, here's a default YAML file.
Yep.
Because in fact, if I say new build pipeline, it figured out from the GitHub repo, I think, that it was .NET Core, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember if we had to tell it that or not.
I don't think we did, because like if I say new build pipeline, it's telling you is your code from the cloud,
right?
Then I think it tries to figure out what you've done, because it handed us that YAML.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the GitHub one, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a YAML file in there, so it's going to keep picking up that YAML file. When we did this last time, we said, where's your code? But we didn't have a YAML file yet.
True.
So I think, you might be right. That's what the video's for.
Right.
Is then it asked us the question of, all right, what are you doing exactly?
Yeah.
I don't remember. We'd have to start over to show that off. There is a classic editor. You used to be able to do this by using a more graphical interface.
Yeah.
But I think kind of everyone's getting away from that, right? This configuration is code, so let's learn YAML.
Have that definition essentially be part of the code for code.
Yeah, let's learn the format. And so, okay, so let's review what's happened here. We went back to GitHub to reconnect our project to Azure DevOps. We got a build made. We really haven't done very much in this particular show. The YAML file did everything, including the .NET build release version, and it finalized the job, succeeded. And I remember last time that my question was, all right, awesome, where's the code? Where is it? Where's the release? And you said we'll do that next time. So I'm still wondering,
where is that release?
Where did it go? Like where can I get it? Can I is it here in library? Is it hiding in library? So no.
Part of what we have going on in there is we've gone through the process. Okay. But once we've done that build, didn't do anything.
Okay.
So that machine went away.
Okay.
So did still.
Okay, so the build happened on the agent. In fact, in the log, it said it was hosted on this Ubuntu agent. So we had something, a VM, a container. I don't really care, because that's the great thing. Azure DevOps cares. I don't. And it built the code, and so all the artifacts, the files, what I would normally xcopy onto a USB key and then go walk over to a Linux box and say, here you go, here are the files. Those are gone because the job finished and my agent went away, or just got cleared out. It goes away.
Yeah.
Okay, brand new every time, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, that's tough because we didn't get that code out of there. There must be some part of the product that we're missing. That's right. The next part.
So the additional step of doing it public.
Okay.
Publish to a direct the Azure DevOps, so that it's there to use.
Okay, great. All right. So, do we modify the build?
Yeah.
All right.
So these are so this is the fun part, right? Because those are the things we have got to find some way to get that part, publish it out. We publish it, put it in part of the state.
Okay.
And then it's gonna be fun doing the command.
Okay. All right. So I need to. I'm in the pipeline section. I've got builds highlighted. I see my build. Do I need to edit it?
Yeah, we need to edit that.
Okay. And it's the YAML file. And so what's interesting is I see. No, to be fair, last time most of this YAML file was done for me.
Yep.
We just kept tinkering in here because of my kind of mistake of burying the CS proj. The configuration is an environment variable called build configuration, and that variable was defined here. Okay.
Yep.
Didn't do any of this. So one way is I could know the YAML. I could, and there's, I'm sure, the documentation. This would be maybe another step.
Exactly.
But I'm seeing over on the right, there's a little hint there.
Which I don't think we saw last time, right?
No. Is that new in the interface?
That's pretty recent.
I don't remember. I'll have to go back and watch the video and see if that was there last time. But that's kind of neat because, and here's someone. Okay, I intentionally don't really know a whole lot about the product, so we have Rich to. I want to be like the viewer here. What's interesting is that there's tasks, and just highlighting over the .NET Core task, build, test, package, or publish a .NET application. So I'm feeling pretty good about that one.
Right.
Let me just scroll down real quick. Wow, there's a lot of stuff here. I imagine I might be able to get to the same place, maybe if I might have picked one of these, but I might have to know more. Or no, maybe I might need, because you said something interesting that I caught when you said you needed to run .NET Publish, because so far all we've done is run .NET Build. Okay, so maybe this is the way to go. So if I click here, oh, interesting. All right, so I clicked on the .NET Core task, and I'm getting the commands that I would be used to seeing the .NET CLI.
Right.
All right, and we're going to need a publish, and it says to publish the web projects. Wow, I'm really not sure what arguments we would provide or if we need anything more here. Add the project name to the publish path. Zip the publish. Let's see if I get any help on each of these things. Zip publish project, public web project. Not particularly. But what's interesting here is I think the checkbox, it's going to detect which one's your web project. But what if you have a solution maybe where it's picking up the wrong project? Then I imagine you would uncheck that and then actually code in, say, hey, here's the one I care about here.
Right.
Because I could see that happening, a scenario where that didn't work, to just use that magic. Zip the published projects. Sure. Add project. I'm not sure that we need anything in here right now. If I click add, I got some more YAML. Now
it dropped it right in the middle of your highlighted, because we did you had that line highlighted with the project.
Okay. So
Control Z?
Yeah, I got rid of that. And now, do I want nothing highlighted? Do I want to be at the end?
Well, we lost.
I took it away.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Or did we lose something else? I think you were right. Yeah. Okay. I think we're back where we started now.
Yep. So the next step is going to be, go ahead and
do this again.
Yep.
Publish. I'm not going to touch any of these. And so now we got a new task, and that's okay for that to be right there.
Mm-hmm.
A new task called .NET Core CLI 2. We could name that whatever we wanted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the task name. So when you look at the output in the virtual machine, all of the steps that are there, that's going to be one of the highlighted steps.
So I could call this like .NET Publish. I wonder if I'm allowed to have a space like that. We'll see.
We'll see.
So the input says command is publish web project. True, feeds to use select versioning scheme off. How does it know to use that? Was that task actually important there? .NET Core CLI. How does it know that it's using .NET Publish?
Because we select .4. So if you were to type all that out, much like in the step above script, where you've got .NET Build, you're essentially using that configuration thing on the side there to say, I want to do a .NET Pub, which you could have written script.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe that task is the name of this task, and me changing it, it's not a friendly name. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, I got to scroll up a little bit so that my head's not in the way. See, I went and I changed this. I said, oh, what if I made this a friendly name? And I have a feeling that maybe is not.
Oh.
I think that really is I think this identifies this.
I think you can change it. I just don't think you can put a space.
All right. I'm going to save it. This should publish. Okay. Should we just see that work?
Sure.
All right. So when I click save, what's really happening here is that Azure pipelines.yml file is we're committing that. We're going to commit it right back to GitHub. I could not have done this in here. And I imagine as you get good at this, you start to either just copy from other sources or you learn the YAML and you just do it in your editor and you push it up to GitHub. But this will be okay here. We're gonna commit directly to the master. But I'm gonna put a little bit better commit message so that I remember we added the .NET Core publish task to build. I just want it to be, since we're gonna keep touching this file quite a bit, and we're going to commit directly to master because we're still at that early stage in the project where we're just kind of getting things going. A lot of times you might say like, well, gosh, that's terrible, right? Because you'd never want to do that in your real project. You know, wouldn't you want to create a pull request? Well, I think it's fair to say we're still at kind of that building point. This is the stuff you do like the first day. Probably one developer does it. You sort of have the scaffolding in place and you say, okay, everybody, our new project's ready. Oh. Yeah. So now that I've saved it, did it automatically run? I remember another thing that we did. Actually, it's running now. Is does that mean it automatically set up the webhook in GitHub?
No.
That's over in GitHub land, right? That I look for that webhook.
No, that should be on the build itself. So anytime you do a check in, that's probably an automatic continuous.
Trigger master. There you go. It's in the YAML. Just the trigger is defined as master, which I'm sure that's enough.
Oh, there we go. Got it.
Yeah, this is great. I love how in the YAML you're getting IntelliSense. So yeah, here's a human readable name for the task. I could change that, but I don't feel like I'm getting that off here. I think that's important. This is probably like version 2 of the .NET Core CLI path, or maybe. I guess it doesn't really matter what the stands for. That's the whole point. I don't pay attention to that. So we've got a check mark.
Yeah.
A little bit later in the day, add the .NET Core publish task to build. But now, so we've got the .NET build release. We had that before, but here's a new step, and a little small, but it did say that it restored, built. So it put that code out. You think it put that code out here on, it did debug. That's interesting. It looks like it did a debug build out to publish. We can probably fix that. But it's gone, right? The agent's gone? So it's gone again.
Yes.
So that means I need more steps.
Yeah.
Okay. For that, I want to go to build, and we'll go edit the YAML again. And the editor's open, and I'll go to the bottom, and we need another step. So
if we can, we want to try and modify that task we have above it. Because what we can do when we publish, we can say, well, where do we want to put almost define the output.
Okay. So do I get IntelliSense here? Oh, look at that.
So is something output?
Yeah, let's try OUT modify output path.
Sure.
And I got a little information icon here. Read more. Add project name to publish path.
Nah, that's not really what
That's probably not what we wanted. Okay. So
what we could do, because what we're supposed to, what we could do from the output variable, basically, well, we're going to go ahead and publish to artifact date that hold all of the artifact gate folder now already. So if we're doing multiple builds side of staging and then should be.
So here, and again, I know that I've gone back over to the interface again. Is this what we were looking for? This advanced. Says add project name to publish path.
I don't necessarily think it's working. When you uncheck that publish web project.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's right. Yeah, we can throw that back. So I think
I'm just looking. Modify output path fall.
So if you look at do that search for task. We want to look for something for publish. That second one there, copy and publish build.
Use the copy files task and the publish build artifact task instead. Well, here's a publish build artifact task, but there's another task they said called copy files. They're just saying that they're moving away from copy and publish task. But here's a copy files task. Copy files from the source folder to the target folder. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's
right.
I think yeah. So if we go back to publish task itself.
Publish build artifact. Path to publish.
Yep.
Okay, and this is a variable that we already have?
Yeah, so that's part of the whole page in the doc post variable.
Okay.
Inside of that virtual machine that gets spun up, that we dump all the files.
Okay, and I can see what's happening here where it says path to publish and then the artifact publish location. So I'm kind of getting the sense by looking at this that like we're moving into Azure pipelines and out of what's in this agent.
Right.
So anything to change here?
I think that's a good one to start. We can test it out in front.
Yeah. Now, do we have to give it this artifact staging directory as a build variable? Maybe not. This is build dot artifact staging directory.
I think we're good. So we want public web project. I think we're
okay.
In a good place.
Well, let's see.
Oh
no, go ahead.
We were going to go ahead and change it so it wasn't going to use the bug.
Yeah. Build configurations release. .NET built it. Does that really even mean that this step sort of goes away?
The .NET build?
Yeah, because it sounds like there's this build step is happening, but isn't the publish step, is it also building?
I don't believe so. I thought just
well,
unlike I guess you were thinking like .NET run both.
It can, yeah. Okay, added, publish, build.
The application is dependencies to a folder for deployment to a hosting system. So it's not going to build. It's going to take everything. Push that over. So we might need to define or look at the build. That's getting where that's coming back.
Right. Well, it's in
the wash.
It's in the wash. So let's see here. .NET build release ran. Okay. And it's restoring packages. I'd be curious if we can see where this output went. So It's restoring packages every time. Every time it's coming in here and it's saying, "Hey, let me go do the NuGet thing," which might take a period of time. Is there something we can do about that later?
Yeah, there is. So
Okay.
you think about there's something else that's in Azure DevOps called artifact.
Right.
So it's the way have the package or be able to do it package pull up, drag, download.
Yeah. And there's artifacts there. I went ahead and I moved it over, the screen over, because I was in the way.
Oh.
When I have it a little more full screen, I was kind of in the way. So I'll run it. Okay. So we got a warning in publish build artifact. We can go take a look at that in a second. The .NET build release stuff said that it built the PdnScheduler release, and it looks like it put the DLLs out in PdnScheduler bin release netcore app 2.2. But then if I go to the next task, it says it did a restore and then built it out to debug. Okay, now let's go see what the next task did. The directory is empty. So I feel like we've got some wiring to do here.
Yeah. So it's mismatched. Like the first step did what we wanted. It wants the release to get pushed out. That's fine. The next step wants to go looking for any bugs that are
right. Okay. So
can you look at that path again on build artifact where it was set up?
Yep. So the task for build, it's looking in build.artifact staging directory, which didn't really get set. But I wonder, would you do this? I mean, would you make it so that the publish goes out to it? We were trying to figure that out, though.
Yeah. But I don't really think that's something to modify at the build.
Now, what's interesting is that the build step that we're using, I kind of wonder if it's old. Because remember, we did this work. I even think we might have done this before the build conference, which was in May. And part of my thinking for that is that we started this project off in VS 2017.
Yeah.
And at build, they announced the unified pipelines, which we kind of have to explain, except if you didn't know how it worked before, you wouldn't know the difference now.
Right.
Which is that you could create one YAML file to do your builds and your releases all in one. And I'm kind of wondering if maybe we're crossing the streams a little bit here, and that if we had started this today, and this also, it makes me wonder if that's why the old build is gone. If instead of this step, if it would be task path, right? And the reason I say that is because if you take a look at the documentation that says read more, when they do a build, they did steps, but the first task is build in the .NET Core CLI.
Yep.
So, all went away. So I'm wondering if maybe part of our problem here, and we'll let that go in a second. If I come here and I say build, path to project, we need that one, and we might possibly only need this, maybe. And then the arguments, I guess we might want this. Advanced, I don't think we have to worry about. So let's see what that looks like when we add it. Did I goof that up? I did, didn't I? Yeah. I did. Okay. Because I did the same thing as last time. I had some highlighted stuff.
Yeah.
So let's do that again. Path project. And this time I'll fix the highlighting before we go. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a .NET Core build command. Say that it should be, whoop, I want the whole thing, don't I? Because this is the argument.
You're gonna need.
Yeah. That's the argument to .NET Core. and I want it to render that YAML here. So let's add. It looks different now, except that YAML indentation, probably everyone's favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, do I have to fix it for everything?
Nice.
Might be good there.
No.
Okay, so I suspect that this is going away. Except maybe for display name. I don't know about that.
It would be, I mean, it would be unfortunate if the changes broke script.
Yeah.
It's not like it broke the formatting of something.
Yeah.
Here it is, run it, because hey, we want to play it. It wasn't really much.
Well, we didn't finish it the old way.
True.
I think if we would have maybe, let's say we finished this out the old way, I wonder if script still works. And now what we're doing is we're having, since we don't know the YAML, or at least I don't, to fill those steps out the old way, we're now using the new task setup, and it's like, well, you know.
Things don't look quite.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think, no, it's a fair point.
I'm just trying to figure out why I'm getting squigglies there.
Because it's just a display name with no real task on it. You can keep the step, just lose the display name.
Yep, okay. Whoops, what have I done? I tried to save it. It's just reflex action, Control S. Okay, so now what we've done now is what we've really done is we converted the build step over to new task format. That's got to be it. And we thought that there would be nothing to it because we already have the build.
It was one more step, right?
Yeah, this should be a piece of cake. So the new build step, it's already going, and
into the washing machine.
Into the washing machine, and it's building it, and it looks like that's all working the way we expect.
And if we look at
the path is in there. That home VSTS, that was that build configuration variable, right?
Yep.
And that's in there.
That's at release.
Yeah. Okay. Very promising here. Except that we got to restore packages. So, but still, so do we think, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to head back to the build and I'm going to head back to edit. So we think that you do need a build step, you do need a publish step, and then this last step, publishes, to be clear, publishes .NET Core's publish.
Yeah.
And then the last step is, okay, publish these build artifacts out to a drop location. In this case, it's public location container. What is that about? Artifact publish container? Maybe that's not important right now. How did I at least start heading down that path? So while we were talking, if we take a look at where was I? Where I saw there was somewhere. Was it maybe when I looked at the task? Oh, everything's finished now.
Except the warning again.
Okay. I think what happened is when I came to here, I saw this about this task, and it opened up this.
Right, which is
cool.
.NET Core project.
Some cool documentation for .NET Core. So it says if you're having, we don't want to do tests, because I mean, we don't have those yet.
Right.
We're saying run any custom.NET command. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Collect code coverage. We didn't have to do that. Package and deliver your code.
Yep.
So they like publish build artifacts, which I think we did.
Yep.
Takes all the files in the build artifact staging directory and uploads them as an artifact of your build. For this task to work, you must have already published the output of the, oh, wow, look at this. What we didn't do.
Right, that was where I was going. Was that publish?
In publish, we didn't provide an argument.
True. We were hoping that argument was going to come out of the IntelliSense there. At least that's where I was thinking.
Well, let's go take a look at the log.
Yep.
So, converted build step over. .NET Core CLI, that's the second one. This is the one that was building. And
back to the bug again.
Yeah. Okay. So
we don't have an argument in there.
We don't have any arguments in there. So let's go back to builds. and we say we know that we can just add arguments. We've learned that already. So in publish, at least I think we can. Let's just double check. Yep. Assume that that's telling me what I want to know. We'll put configuration, but then it sounds like if I'm reading this correctly, we should also put this.
For the publish, yeah.
Of course, I wonder though. Publish artifact, okay, they don't exactly talk about. Let's leave that alone, and we'll say the output to where the next step in the pipeline is expecting it.
Yeah.
So what we're thinking here is we're telling publish to grab the configuration, to publish the configuration, the release build configuration, because that build variable is defined way up at the top, and output it to the same artifact staging directory that publish build artifacts is going to be expecting in just a second. For whatever reason, the build command doesn't seem to need to know where to publish to, and I wonder if that's an environment variable they're setting that the .NET Core CLI just picks up. Don't know. Because it put it where publish build artifacts expected.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if we need maybe we don't necessarily need output, but we might need configuration. But we're gonna find out. So in this case, we updated publish command to include to use release configuration. We hope. Okay. So we save that. That's going to start working. One thing you can publish to a NuGet feed. You can deploy a web app, which we don't need. Okay, I was just curious if there was maybe more about, because we got the build your project.
Yeah.
And let's see what's different between their build and ours. Their build, they put in the release configuration. They put that in. And then they gave an example of doing something else. We didn't do these things, but we could always come back to them another time. Store dependencies happened automatically. Build environment, that already happened for us.
Yeah.
So let's see how we're doing over here. Build. .NET build is still underway. It's still restoring packages. And yeah, that home VSTS work path seems like that is some kind of default here. Could be the containers that this is your home directory that .NET lives in.
But didn't we define that in the? I guess we did when we did the script. We defined it, right?
Not this one.
Right, but back when we did the script.
Well, that went a lot.
Huh.
Okay, so let's watch what happened. The build wrote to this location.
Yeah.
It wrote to bin release, which we told it to make a release build.
Yeah.
Okay. Publish seems to have found it. Well, yeah. Makes me wonder if we needed the build step, because once again the build engine ran.
Yeah, we might go back and take it out.
We could try that sometime. Then publish build artifact. Uploading one file upload completed, and it uploaded the whole folder. Is that right? Is that what it's saying
like
here?
Yeah, there's an artist into the drop.
Okay, so into the drop. Now that sounds promising. Where's the drop? Where did that go?
Isn't that one of those?
Yeah.
Drop?
Yeah. I don't know where did it go? Associated artifact 12 with build 55. Not in releases. We don't have a repo. Test group, deployment group. So, but it sounds promising. It sounds like post job, cleaned any cache. Okay, nothing there. It sounds like we're there. Just as long as we can get to file container 1382260, then okay. So would that be
for doing release?
Okay, so we haven't done any of that. We have not clicked on this releases section, and you're saying we would make a new pipeline.
Although you could do unified pipe, publish somewhere that we're trying to pick up on the other side. So this new pipeline would give the ability to grab that artifact, hit the drop folder, and then run with that Azure.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this page, and I'm going to say, okay, in the pipelines category, we've got the releases. We've been spending a lot of time here in builds. Going to move over to releases now. No release pipelines found. We've got this engineer and her dog are ready to hit the button. She just can't wait to smash the big red button and send our release into the sky. So let's do that. New pipeline. Well, so here in pipelines, it looks like I've got an interface. This was YAML enabled recently, right?
Yes.
But maybe today we'll poke through this interface here. Select a template. It's where does it want to go? So we could, if we just wanted to look at the files, would that be to a location or maybe save to Azure repos, or is that not a thing?
Yeah, I think the thing is, if we're going to do a pipeline to send it somewhere, we probably should send it to ideal send it.
Yeah, we could send it to an app service. So if I say apply,
yep.
So now it's asking me,
what are we calling this type? Dev?
Sure, dev. This is hope, is what it is. It's this stage of the pipeline. We are hoping, we're learning. But sure, this is our development release, okay? So now that that name is set, it says one job, one task, the view to stage task. Is okay, well, deploying the app service, which we don't have yet. So we'll use a subscription. And have I authorized this yet? I don't know. Let's use one that's already authorized. I thought they maybe all were authorized. Do you have to authorize it per project, maybe?
Per project, yeah.
Okay, so that means I'm gonna have to just say, hey, let's allow the pop-ups here, and I'm gonna let that thing start over. We'll authorize.
Pop out of the window there so they don't see what you're doing.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm probably gonna need my phone too, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure that 2-pack is turned on somewhere.
No.
Oh no. Where's your phone?
I think my phone is not on me.
Uh-oh. You don't have it with you?
No, I think I left it.
You text? You were looking at it.
Oh, that's right. I was talking to you. So it can't be far.
Yeah.
But where did I put it down?
In your jacket. Just be careful of the wires.
All right, everybody.
It's on me.
So
go ahead.
Everybody's watching Rich while I go and get phone.
This is me tapped in. Chris finds his phone in his jacket and blocks my camera.
How is that possible?
Nice. We have a commentary from our friend Skull Crusher. You mean?
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
You mean the drop folder wasn't specific enough? Why don't you just go find it? I will admit I'm a little I'm trying to understand, but I am a little mystified as to, like, I don't get it. What's going on here still? I get that it's all happening on a build agent machine.
Right. But
that part makes sense to me, but I'm trying to figure out, how do I get this out of here?
I'm with you, because I'm thinking somewhere on that left, right, we should be able to say, hey, here's where I can see artifact. are the folder structure from all the things built.
I might need to create an app service, right? The reason I say that I might need to create an app service is because we're creating a web app on Linux here.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I might have a containers web app ready to go. No, I don't. Okay. So off to the portal we go.
All of this is happening off screen.
Yeah. And app services. Yeah, I guess I don't have one. So we'll add. I'm not sure. I do need to. Looking for the classic web app experience? Not really. Create a new resource group. We'll say.
Right. So right now, Chris, off screen is the creation of the app service in Azure.
Yeah, which I'm not sure. I mean, I'm logged in. Is there anything bad that can happen here? Probably, right?
I'm just worried about. I don't know if you have that
Azure Mask.
Yes.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice if I had that installed and ready to go?
A little bit.
Runtime stack, we said .NET 2.2, operating system Linux.
Yep.
We're publishing code, not a Docker image, I think.
Right, and we're doing Linux.
And app service plan. Yeah, premium. That's the one.
Huh?
By default, it said, so what size app service plan would you want? And it's like, you want premium, right?
Maybe not.
That was the one that was sitting in there, so I switched it to free.
There you go.
We don't have monitoring set up yet. We're gonna have to come back to that, which means we may have to go through all this step again, just so people can see the setup of it.
Yeah, or yeah, go through CLI.
Yeah, could be the CLI. All right, deployment's underway. So back over in Azure DevOps.
Meanwhile,
by washing machine, do I see my new, or does it have to be created? Yeah, it might have to be created, right? Oh, wait, this is the name. Oh, terminal provisioning state failed. That's good. It might be that I can't use free. That might be it.
No.
I mean, maybe I can. I don't know.
Should be able to.
Okay.
Wait, why is that red there? You're seeing that in the subscription.
The pricing tier Linux free is not allowed in this resource.
Oh.
Okay.
Do basic.
Yeah.
And we got to spend this credit.
Yeah.
Did it completely drop your deployment?
Looks like it. So we add my group. Let's change that later.
Well, you run through those steps again. Let's see.
Yeah, so I'm creating a resource group, a name, the code. The runtime stack is .NET Core 2.2, operating system is Linux. The premium, but why don't I see if it lets me change it to basic? Looks like it will. And then we'll review and create.
Yep.
Now, let's see, that created an app service. So I know what my resource group is named now, but yeah, service plan.
That's fine. You don't need to know that on the DevOps side.
Okay.
You just need to point to the app service and potentially the resource group, but I think so. It basically gives you the list of app services in your.
Well, here's the app service plan. It made up a name.
Okay.
Okay, so back here, So I'm back in Azure DevOps, and yeah, we've got it. You're right. App service name, not app service plan name.
Right.
All right. So back in the Azure DevOps side.
I don't see your. Did that refresh?
No. I'm not seeing this screen right now. I'm seeing the over there. I'm seeing the Azure portal.
Yeah, that's what I got as well.
Odd, because I have gone away from that.
Check your scan. Are you still in the network?
I appear to still be in network. There it goes.
This is the joys of doing NDI, which is awesome, by the way. Sometimes thick.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring that over.
Oh, geez.
So what we're doing in DevOps, try essentially the field, the find description, which cross, right? Made that DevOps. So now once that happens, all of those other service, that app service had something like a deployment slot. We could choose that, find that deploy our app in deployment, step right out into the full-on production service. Stop.
So when it says to save the release pipe,
yeah,
I don't know what this means. This folder. I just don't know what it means.
So that's that hidden number 134 or 13226. It's essentially inside of your project, you have a place where you're versioning.
Okay.
So much like we versioned the YAML.
Yeah.
This is a way of computer version.
Okay. So you just click OK.
Yep.
We made a pipeline, but we haven't done anything else.
Right. So we got to go back and edit that pipeline. So I'm going to back. See, we have that artifact section.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do add in something in there. And then we're going to take build. That drop.
Okay, so it knows about our build pipeline. This was the name of it.
Yep.
Default version latest.
Mm-hmm.
Probably fine. Source alias. Okay.
I think it seems fine.
It does seem to know here. There's something interesting at the bottom. The latest successful build of spaceshot.PdnScheduler published the following artifact. Drop.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's what it's going to pick up.
So I just add this.
Yep.
And it understood, though. It understands by pointing it at a build pipeline, it's able to understand that it wants to go take the latest drop because it got put. So these are, I know maybe we shouldn't want to care about this, but these are kind of hidden spots in Azure DevOps because they're kind of getting exposed to us in a log or in this message. You sort of have to know what they are, but maybe it might be nice if we didn't have to know what they were.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Lego piece, they connected part together, kind of snap together, build out of this.
Okay. So by going through the Azure build step, that last step was publish artifact. By default, it threw it here. Azure the pipeline releases the release pipeline. And see, this is where there's a build pipeline, and now we're in the release pipeline. This is, I think, the separation gets, confusing, but it's starting to become clear. The release pipeline, just by pointing it at the build pipeline, it's like, yeah, okay, I see where you're dropping stuff.
Right.
And so it doesn't feel like there's much more to do here, except, this is saying to go deploy it to the app service. That's the task. That's the purpose of this task.
Yep. And if we want to do a before and after, so go back over to your Azure portal tab.
Okay.
Go to that service, you have to go to the resource there.
We haven't actually run the pipeline.
We haven't run the pipeline, but even without running the pipeline, go to the app service that got created.
Okay.
Because you went through and created this manually in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Navigate to that.
Well, I'm actually at the web
deployment.
app.
Yeah. So this when you created all of the configurations, this is what I want app service to look like, that plan, all those things. It's the deployment aspect.
This is the app service.
Yep. Click on the app service. Up in the overview section, left top, right column. And open that up. Page. Load one.
Well, I'm expecting the default page. Like, hey, congratulations. Yeah.
Right. So this is just a generic HTML that sits inside of web app service when you create.
Mm-hmm.
So just showing this, so now if we go back to DevOps pipeline, to place that with essentially file new project .4.
Let me save it again. I might have done something. So, one thing I can do is I can rename this pipeline.
Yep.
Okay, and say we can change the name later. Save again, and then
create a release.
Create a release. Okay, yep. So
this is basically step through. If you want to change it from an automated to a manual, which we want to let it run, you can do that for any of the steps.
Okay.
And those will basically drop down to the bottom. Artifact, that's fine. We don't really need a restrictions. We can just go ahead and create.
Okay, so we say create. Release 1 has been created.
Yep. If we click on that hyperlink, it says 1.
So it's working on it.
Yep. And then once it gets, so right now it's queuing up a machine. It's trying to find a virtual machine to spin a resource to create a virtual spin that up. Once that happens, much like build, you can drill into the wash and spinning it.
Okay, so it's queuing up an agent just like the build pipelines were. Yep. But what it's not going to do, it's not going to build it.
No, the build's been done.
Yeah.
All it's going to do is essentially take those artifacts, move them up into the app server.
And we told it to get the latest. So there are other options in there besides latest that might be appropriate for different scenarios.
Yep.
But for our purposes, good enough.
Yep.
Okay. Waiting in the hosted VS 2017 queue. All right. Wow. So
so while we wait.
So that took us a little while, but that's okay. I know there's Azure Mask, which I think makes sense for us to take a look at. I think this extension still exists. Is this still a thing? Yeah, looks like it worked in both Chrome and Firefox. And what I'm curious about.
Oh, I didn't know it worked in Chrome. I thought it was Firefox only. That's pretty cool.
Well, it just says here Chrome, Firefox that toggles concealment of information in the Azure portal page. So the question now is, what about Azure DevOps, right? What about Azure DevOps? Blurs GUIDs, that's cool. Okay. Interesting. So we need like Azure DevOps mask. That didn't come up as quickly in Google.
No.
But this is a cool extension that I definitely should take a look at. But what's interesting about this is that it makes you wonder, you know, the portal's a good place to learn and discover stuff. But is it getting us back in that habit of learning how to do things one at a time instead of again, configuration is code.
Right.
So eventually you want would you want the creation of the app service? You would eventually want to say, let's get that automated.
Absolutely.
Because we might want to bring up environments at will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So one of the things you can, and you can look at it portal where you are, but what happens when you create that via the portal by saying, doing the click, going through the steps of it's going to drop that into your Azure environment. Inside of the resource group with that app service dot, there changed, I believe it's called deployment.
Okay.
But what that's going to give you is what's called resource template. So that is everything Azure put in place to get an app service. And so all of the settings around the app service plan, type of plan that we chose, URL that you end up using for your service name, all of those are parameters. We can take that template, download it, also download a parameters file, change those parameters for test prod. So you can have that same structure of artifacts getting out of Azure, but then use that different parameters environment. Separate step pipeline that can say Azure create or update based on the resource. So if those artifacts haven't changed, it's not going to do anything. But if you update, say you included a data component app built, we can update the resource template with check those in, separate artifact part of that. The one code, the others that throughout all pipe.
Okay. So while we're waiting for the release pipeline to come up, we have our number one fan, Core Crusher for Life, is here and pointed out that if you're looking for your phone, maybe we should combine Twilio with one of those Amazon dash buttons, I think they were called.
Yep.
To call your phone just so you can find where your own phone ended up. And then I'd lose the button, right? Or I'd have to like attach it to my backpack or something like that.
Just keep it on the keyring.
Yeah, right. Keep it on the keyring because I never lose my keys.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, and as we are trying to see if we can get. We're still waiting for the request to be queued. I think.
Huh.
It's a slow night on. Maybe it's a busy night. What, does everybody deploy on a Wednesday?
Well, it's a holiday.
Oh wait, hold on. No, more stuff happened.
Nice.
I had to click refresh. So.
Wow.
It says the job initialized. I didn't click refresh. Downloaded the artifact, succeeded. Deploy Azure app service, succeeded. Finalized job, succeeded.
So if we go back over,
and it says it only took 22 seconds, but we had a chat there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised I had to click refresh. So yes, this was, or do I? I was just there.
Right?
Hold on. I have to get the name of the site, I think, because I don't remember what I called it.
Do that again, because it was down the third or fourth down there. Yeah, PTT Linux web app, right?
That's in the portal.
Oh, my bad. Okay, go for it.
Okay, let me see.
There you go.
Control F5 maybe. Okay. It says it succeeded, but we're still seeing the initial page.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the deployment here. Oh, look at this. Oh no, deploy log. HTTP. I didn't think that was.
Yeah, it would make a difference.
It was happy, but
So what we can do is what should be there right now when you create that web app is just the HTML file. But we can go and see if everything else got deployed as well. So we use Kudu, kind of step into that.
Yeah.
While you can certainly get that off of the Azure portal and the settings, if we just go to that same URL you were looking at and then just put SCM, not in between. So it's the name of your app.
.scm.
Yep.
All right.
And wow, they changed it. Well, we're in Linux, so that would make sense. I'm used to seeing this with the command line and PowerShell instead of SSH and bash. So wow, it looks like all of your DLLs are there.
But there's, yeah. What's interesting is the www root, www root.
Oh.
But that's just static files for .NET Core. And I think we can show this, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that's what you were.
Well, it looked like I guess what I'm getting at is things deployed.
Yeah. Oh, there's a web config down here, but that shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I guess.
So while everything deployed, whatever it needs to start up with might not be in the right place where it's expecting to find it.
Yeah. For Linux, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably a blog post. But that's kind of cool. I mean, it put the files out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, we just got to put it. It's like the first go around. We had to get things in the right place.
Yeah. All right. That might be it for tonight, though. Because we had to rebuild our build pipeline.
Yep.
And then we built a release pipeline, which actually didn't take very long at all. But there were some intermediate steps there. You got to have an Azure web app ready to go.
Yep.
Looks like. And we've been doing Linux for this whole thing. So we're trying to stay in Linux. And but the build pipeline stuff changed on us. And I think that was what they announced at build was the new unified pipelines. So could I see the YAML for this release pipeline? That's something.
I believe you can. Into up to the pipeline.
Like I'm in the pipeline, right?
Right. I think up one more level, like all pipe.
That's the release. So
yeah.
So this is the name of the pipeline. There was edit, but there could also be export maybe. The only reason I say export is because I think edit is bringing up the classic editor.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if you were here and you had this highlighted and you said export. I get a JSON file.
Yeah. Maybe we don't have. I'll have to go back and look. Maybe I may be getting it confused with the classic build pipeline because in there's a way to view YAML. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. But
yep. I just remember reading, like, if I say Azure DevOps Unified Pipelines, I remember reading something about this. Yeah, Unified Pipelines. And this was a brand new thing posted on Monday, May 6th. Offers the ability to create continuous integration pipelines called build pipelines in a declarative way using YAML file. We now extending support to continuous delivery pipelines. And you can do it all in the same file. But I wonder, maybe it's just not all in the interface yet.
Well, I think it might be at the build step. So you're going to build it.
You'd go back there.
Right.
But what I'm trying to, I guess what I was getting at is, so even this blog post says YAML define CI/CD, but it looks like you got to learn. The build one we plotted our way through thanks to some GUI in the web interface. But it looks maybe, I mean, look, this was just written a couple weeks ago. There just may not be GUI, right?
Well, I think there is. One of those steps down there is going to be deploy as an app server.
Yeah, right. But I don't know if there's GUI yet that would let us, like, you build it in Azure DevOps and then you say, okay, well, let me see what this looks like in the YAML, because we sort of did that in build pipelines. Sort of. Not completely, but we certainly let it, we go click over on the right with all those tasks, let it populate the left side, and then go from there. So, but I think that's okay. I think that's okay. We're getting closer. This is definitely, we definitely want to get to a place where our brand new app on commit is building, deploying, going live in a dev environment, and then we can do things like add monitoring, and so we'll know, besides its usage statistic, if the app blows up, we can get that information, right? We can say what happened, instead of what I think often happens a lot on premise is, well, can you go recreate that, and this time we'll be watching? Yeah, we don't, we want to be able to see what happened at all times. So,
and maybe even write some code in there.
Yeah. We haven't written any code on the app, but that's okay. So, I mean, don't forget some of the things, like tonight we talked about Scott Hanselman and the remote development and the new try.net stuff. And the next Philly.net event is June the 5th.
Yes, that's the Wednesday.
Yeah, so Philly.net, the next Philly.net meetup is a hands-on lab, C# 8 and .NET Core, .NET Core 3, specifically the new desktop stuff, all hands-on. So if you got Visual Studio 2019, you're going to need Preview, and you're going to want to go get the .NET Core 3 Preview SDK. There is a way to use the generally available VS 2019, but if you use Preview, the Preview release and the .NET Core Preview, it just all works. Yeah. Everything just works.
And if you have enough room on your machine, you can run them side by side.
Yeah. Yep. And then, in fact, I think this machine still has 2017 on it for maybe a couple more days, but it's gonna go eventually. And you can also use VS Code. So you can use VS Code and the .NET Core Preview 3 SDK. Yep. So yeah, we're getting ready for Philly.net on the 5th, and then our monthly meeting in June is the Kids Can Code Night. That's not going to be streamed or recorded, but we'll try to be in here every Wednesday, and we'll be here after the hands-on lab.
Are we going to do one after the Kids Can Code?
That I don't know.
That is a little crazy, usually after.
Yeah, so the June 19th, there may not be a talk show either.
Although that would be fun to bring the kids. Yeah.
Might be interesting.
We can talk about that.
Yeah. We'll figure that out. All right. Well, that might be good enough for tonight. We had an extra long show trying to figure out release pipelines, but we have a build and release. We know files are getting copied to Azure App Service. I think we just got to figure out what exactly do we do to make the Linux web app go.
Yeah, just like we did getting in here. There's a couple little things we needed to finish up to make it that throw. It's the cliffhanger, if you will, from one episode to another.
We can chop up all of the parts. We might have a nice little video blog here, how to actually do this.
Yep.
So, all right.
Before we sign up, last two comments. Yes, I have not had a chance to look at Twitch highlighting. That is on the list, kind of in the middle of our end of year, so things are a little busy around here, but that is on the list of things to look at. And I was playing around with something called noise gates on this microphone, and that's why it kind of flips out every now and then.
I guess your noise gate's just a little low.
It is a little low, and then if I step too far away from it, it kind of goes away. So I'm trying to almost hang out in front of it. I need a new mic. That's on the Christmas list.
Yeah, and the noise gate stuff takes work. I mean, you want the ambient noise to not go through the mic. I played with all this at home too.
Yeah.
I don't want the ambient noise to activate the mic, but then I want to activate the mic.
Right. And I think the beauty of, we did some rearranging in here. That monitor, while it's now no longer in front of me, I clean cut you. You also, as you speak, is coming now. And
we used to be looking up over some big obstacles to see each other.
Yep.
It was hilarious. So, no, this worked out much better. I like it.
Definitely.
All right. So I think we're good.
I think we are good. And then yeah,
we haven't really put together what we're using for streaming equipment, because we actually have like multiple venues, and it would be interesting, I think, to say, hey, here's what's used in the MPRs, here's what's used down here in the studio. It's not the same.
No. And here's what we actually started, right? Because what we started with was really basic. I don't want to give the impression that all the cool equipment here, or even up when we do the MPR part, you know, is how you need to get started.
No.
Surface Book and a Jobber Puck was how we did that first couple of sessions.
Yeah. But little equipment's being added, and then like I have a setup at home where I do have like a Logitech C920 sitting on a monitor looking at me, but you know, you can just start on your webcam. It's a little bit more difficult, I think, because it's really easy on a webcam to get out of frame. But I don't know, if you're just starting out, probably better to go ahead and make the videos and do the streams and make the mistakes, because you're gonna make them anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well learn. Might as well learn from them. So yeah, I think that is something that actually I need to catalog, because I have been asked, you know, either by other user groups and so on, what kind of stuff are you guys using? And I think we've always told them, like, don't get too caught up in doing exactly what we're doing. You can start with much less, but if you want to know what's working for us, then here it is. So.
And I certainly have a wish list of things I want to explore and go down that path of various types of hardware and software stuff. I don't know if you've seen Louis Berman in his podcast rig that he just purchased probably a couple months ago. That, granted, just audio, but I'm totally in. So
oh wow!
It is the sound quality on it.
So I used to have a Microsoft Live Chat headset. I don't have it anymore. I don't remember if it was the LX3000. It was a very old headset. It was a workhorse for me, and then one of our cats got a hold of it, so I don't have it anymore. And now I have a HyperX Cloud 2, which is really a gaming headset.
Yeah.
But it works fine for work purposes. So.
Yeah. Microsoft headsets lying around here at some point.
That looks like a gaming headset.
Oh, definitely. I just don't recognize the brand name on it. But
I can't tell for sure what it is either.
Sade? ADES?
Not a Corsair?
Doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
But it's a good headset. It's what we have to hear the playback out of here.
All right.
Enough geeking out.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for joining us online.
Yeah.
It's always good to see you.
Good for the conversation. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll see you again, and we'll see you all next Wednesday when we have our user group. And talk show. I'm waiting. We're stretching. We have our user group, our hands-on lab, so make sure you have Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code ready so you can learn some C# 8 and do a little bit of .NET Core on the desktop, and then we'll talk afterwards. So for Rich, I'm Chris Gomez, and good to see you all. We'll see you online, and talk to you later.
Have a good night.